Morning, fellow zombies. Are we alive yet? Are we awake yet? Oh, a lot of things happening this morning, I guess. Last time before I went to bed. Oh, actually, by the way, it's 7:58 in the morning, West Coast time. April 12th, 2025. Who am I? I am but the weaver of John C. Roseman, California. Yeah, so enough on that one. Okay, getting back to things. There's going to be a few things I'm going to be talking about. Change the format a little bit. No notes except what I'm hearing and reading about. Almost about normal. But these are not normal times. When I have a dean from a journalism school, a Columbia Journalism School of Journalism, telling his students that they're not protected, free speech is not protecting them, especially if they're going to be the foreign students coming in with visas, with paperwork, with validity of saying that they were supposed to be coming into the country with validity. And they're going to be learning more about journalism. Well, now they're really learning the uglier side about journalism, especially when they're entering a country that's turning from what was heralded as liberty for everybody and a shining example has now turned out to be blasted away by our own internal politics and our own internal greed, avarice, insanity. We elected a madman back in office, and now he wants to destroy our country every which way he can. Welcome to tyranny, guys. We're no longer in the United States of America, and I know this is going to be watched overseas. We're no longer the shining example of liberty, freedom, and justice. No, we've lost that. We lost our heads, we lost our minds when we got the Trumplicans in office. And the sycophants that run around sucking on them like crazy, like he's tits on a boar. Curtailing everything that we hold and claiming that we got liberty. No, we don't. Now, when the justice system is stacked with him and allowing decisions happen to continue this farce, when the Supreme Court allows this to happen by a decision giving a president almost ultimate power even before he gets in office. Actually, I think when he got elected is when the case came up to the Supreme Court, and he can't be touched for any actions in his presidency that might be construed as national security. Isn't that what they used in Germany? That kind of speech? They had justice, and then it was perverted, and they allowed Hitler to rise to power. Now we've got Trump rising to power. Is there any wonder how come I keep saying 1776 and 1860s? Because we're heading into it head on. We're I'm dealing with someone right now who has that power over me just yet. I'm a caregiver to a dog. What can I say? And when she has needs, she has needs. And the rest of the world, well, they have their needs too. Outside these hollowed halls. And some of them are actually getting it's getting crazier and crazier out there that our civil liberties and the bastions of liberty and justice is corrupted. Very few judges are able to go against the regime that's already installed. The Supreme Court either will bend to the will or maybe make a stand if we're lucky enough. Student comes over on a green visa. He wants to learn. He wants to learn American-style journalism because they don't have the classes in this country, I think. And then that violence breaks out in this country. They're still trying to point the fingers who started the whole damn thing. How about far back do you go? But for the immediate thing over the last 2 years of tearing a country apart and genocides being enacted afterwards, that you can't say anything about it without getting discriminated by a government system who's supposed to dedicate itself to its principles that it lost a long time ago. Journalistic freedom, First Amendment. We're supposed to have that. But we can't have that if we have a court system saying, no, you can't have it. You have it, but you don't have it. You're not allowed. You're not an American citizen. What happens if you are an American citizen? Or a school, for that matter, promoting it? You're threatened. You're threatened of lack of funds. And you're threatened to be shut down because you receive federal funding. And therefore they have their fingers in your coffers and around your throats. So Columbia kowtowed because they wanted to keep their schools open, including journalism. But journalism can't be open. Why? Because you might piss off the tyranny. If we got some, oh God, what would you describe the so-called elected vice president of a country that's going downhill? Oh, there's a lot of descriptive words I can say about him. He has a representation of having a family that shows pluralism, but he shows segregation, seclusion. Everything opposite of what comes out of this guy's mouth. But he's supposed to be a loving husband, a loving father that doesn't, that shows pluralism, but he's not about pluralism. Segregation. We got a gas bag voted in office who threatened tyranny in the first day, and he's continuing it ever since. He thinks he wants to stabilize the world's economy, but no, he wants to own the world's economy by threatening everybody with tariffs. And if you happen to say anything bad about him, he's going to be attacking your network. He's going to be attacking anybody who says it, anything published, anything on file, because he won't be put in the negative. He can't. His ego doesn't permit it. It does not permit it. It will not allow it. He thinks he's God now. He can control the world. Can he control the sun? Can he control the moon? Does he have a space laser out there that can destroy things? Probably destroy portions of the earth. I'll give him that much of an idea. He'll do the Star Wars crap like Reagan tried to do it and it didn't work. We tried to get that anti-missile shield working and it didn't work as well back then. But now we can have an anti-missile shield? Okay, how about this one? Can he point the missiles at public targets or neighborhoods? Or is he going to be using his local law enforcement to do the job? Or perhaps he's calling out the state militia for that. Or even the U.S. military itself to control things and people. Are we going to be turning into an empire? Because that's what we're turning out to be. We're not turning out to be the United States of America, where everybody else wanted to climb on in and enjoy the theoretical liberties and freedoms and civility. Oh, hell no. No, we became our worst nightmares. We're Mr. Hyde. We were Dr. Jekyll for a long while ago with logic, reason, hopefully with heart and empathy. Not these days. Oh, no. We had heart surgery, we had brain surgery, and now we're a monster. We're a monster to the world. We're a monster to ourselves. We are a monster to every value that we actually had. And we can't say it or do it because we'll be reported. Come here! Door's out there. Door's right there. I may see you coming. I ain't baking you a cake. I ain't got a working oven. The only kind of tyranny I've got immediately right now is a dog that's suffering through mental illness a little bit, and blindness and hearing. That's my local tyranny. But she's a welcomed burden. Trump and his sycophants aren't. His Trumplicants running all three branches now. There's a lot of planning, a lot of maneuvering at this point has allowed this to happen to where we depend upon our elected officials, but are we going to be depending upon our elected officials, especially when they curtail voting? We're supposed to have that right in the Constitution, but apparently the Constitution is not being obeyed. Or is it being rewritten to the point where Trump is king and everything else is nothing? Are we getting to the point where our Constitution is going to be disappearing? Literally? Will they be burning the damn paper? Every idea and ideology we have, everything concerning about amendment processes? How our government's supposed to be working? Is it going to be eliminating our history? I keep hearing, make America great again, make America great again. In whose eyes are we making it great? And what form of greatness are you looking at? Germany back in 1930s? Cuba? Russia? China? Venezuela? North Korea? Myanmar? The Middle East? There's a lot of places I've said, because those are the places I know that don't allow democracy, only dictatorship. The whims of a Saudi prince is almost equivalent to the tyrants we have all over the place. A prince of a Middle East country. Middle Eastern country. Oh, even better yet, Africa. And how many of the countries in Africa are at war with each other? Greed, bloodlust, ego, territory, warlords galore. Yet people want to see the country. We got tourists wanting going over to Africa to see what the African continent's like. Look in your own damn neighborhood. If it's war and torn, guess what? You're in Africa. Or you're in any other country that allows tyranny. I get sick and tired when I have to feel like I have to pull comments from different social media posts because I know what the response is going to be like. And trying to warn the buffoons I've got in this dog heap of a town called Rosamond, California, the armpit of the Antelope Valley, and also of Kern County. They don't care what happens to anybody else. They only care about what happens to their own little people over here. We had a breakout months back, or about a month or two, out of our own jail, actually prison, that's miles away from our home. Managed to kill people. He was in there because he did kill people. And now he's in Mexico killing more people. I already took out a commandant of a police unit. A commander. She had family. And now we got this guy running around Mexico trying to get the hell out of there. He's trying to find a way to get the hell out of there. Maybe he was from Mexico, or maybe not. I don't know his history. Little is known about this guy's history, except he was violent, he killed, he got put in jail. He was going to be doing time, he was going to be doing life. Well, now he's out there taking lives. But our town didn't give a shit because it's not happening in Roseman. We'd have accidents out here people are sobbing over, and I'm like, we got things happening all over the place, and now we got to sob over something that someone tried to kill another person because of drunkenness. Oh, I see the righteous fists being shaken up like crazy. Yeah, but other things are happening that could be using your righteous fist at this point. What about your Social Security under attack? What about your schools and libraries under attack? We have a libraries going through renovations. What happens if the funding's pulled? Is it from the state or from federal funding that pays for the renovation? And if it's stopped in middle without any other work done, who's going to complete it? They'll probably set up a GoFundMe page, but there's not enough money to do the job. The schools are going to be interfered with a great deal. Department of Education in the United States, collapsing, crashing, say goodbye to it. The scholarly funds and the grants are transferred to another federal agency. It's also going under as well. Doge was doing a job on our whole operational superstructure of our government. It's feared that Social Security will be collapsing within this year or next, which means any money that we have to depend upon will be gone. Transferred out to someone else. Privatized. Republicans wanted to privatize Social Security ever since it came out, and they never could throughout the decades. Now they had the opportunity. Is it legal? I suppose those with money who can last as long as they can don't care. I'm worried about the people in my damn town. Are they aware of it? That their Social Security area, their money could be diverted, gone? I worry about it. I got a roof depending upon it. I've got power depending upon it. I got utilities depending upon it. I got food depending upon it. I depend upon Social Security. But these assholes don't. They laugh. They were joking like crazy. They laughed. In a bit of rage, just a little bit, but just enough being pissed off at them, I took out the comments. I'm saying, okay, you deserve it. I warned you. If it happens to you, I'm not taking the blame for it. You're the ones that voted the asshole in. Take it for yourself and take the bow. These guys never do the accountability, transparency, or responsibility. I have to, for my own sanity's sake. I have to be responsible for me and her. Speaking of which. Okay. One more thing, or another thing to be added into it. Regarding the colleges, and not just them losing freedom to do and say, and I don't know what they're going to be doing at this point because they're going to be curtailed pretty shortly. The community college system in California is under attack, but not by the Trumps, not just the Trumplicans. No, by scammers. I was looking at an article from our local news, from one of our news channels out here. And they're telling me through a state investigator that a community college is getting ripped off left and right. Not by the teachers, not by staff, but by scammers coming in posing as students. And they want the federal money. They want to get the grants, but they can't use the grants. The grants will get them classes. What they can go for is the grants from the federal government. And I don't know how long it's been going on. Maybe since COVID, maybe prior to that. But what the students will do, with the sophistication AI bots they've got, is pretend that they are registered and take over class. They'll take over the class size, but they won't attend class. And for those who want to get to class, are locked out. Meanwhile, the scammers are going to be soaking it in for about a semester of how much money. But there's a thing concerning about our doling out of the money. And I have a story about this one. Long ago, when I got into the system back in 1980s, we didn't have it. You could qualify for loans, but you couldn't qualify for grants. Which means you had to work your ass off. You had to work your ass off at jobs to get the money necessary to pay for even tuition just to get into the door, the admission fees, let alone trying to get classes, let alone trying to save up money for college supplies, the books, the writing materials, the notebooks. You had to bust your ass to get in. I couldn't qualify for the state. I qualified for the community at the time, and I did, barely. But I had to make it work. Didn't do very good. Talked about it many times in my other videos. But in this situation here, the one I'm talking about happened within the past maybe 10 years or maybe longer than that. With our computer technology getting more and more sophisticated, we're putting in more and more apps on our devices that they can actually try to pretend that they are students. Well, I'll tell you one way. When you actually talk to a student who's trying to do it in person, I thought maybe these guys were a joke. Maybe they're just in there for the short term, but I didn't realize these guys could have been scammers back then I was talking to. Trying to convince them to do it the right way. If you're going to be earning it, earn it. Get the damn grades to continue your education. College system that we have out here in California is showing us how inadequate sometimes the system is. It can't tell a scammer from a regular student. We have to accept the person coming in as face value, and whether or not, if he has any true intention or not, to take the class. And there's no way for us to know. I speak because I've been there long enough. I feel like I'm part of the system. I should have been part of the system a long time ago, but I feel it's their second home. There's still long on that one. I'm going to put that on a second video. Suffice it to say, if this is a way of telling the Trump administration and all the sycophants and the Trumplicants and the maggots and everybody else how I think and feel about you guys, how about this one? Go fuck yourselves. Come on in. Let's talk about it.